How about y'all come on in and let's have us another visit here on the Humbl Show. I am Grant Fletcher, and I am being joined by my co-host Brandon Cox, and very special guest, a member of the Humbl fam, very important member of the Humbl fam. Claire Deadfield returns to the Humbl Show. How are you, Claire?
I am doing okay.
Yeah, nice, nice, very good. I'm doing pretty A-okay. I like that there. Brandon, how about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing pretty cool. I can't complain.
Yeah, can't complain about a lot of anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I was just thinking here, we're going to talk a little bit about Halloween. Brandon, you said you had a really good Halloween out there.
I had a superb Halloween,
so
yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit here, but you know, as it goes, Claire, we've been doing this thing since the last time you were on the show. I don't know if I don't know. We weren't doing this whenever you were on the show, but an offering has to be made. You do have to make a song recommendation. Brandon, we'll let you think about it here while Brandon thinks about his, because Brandon always has a couple in the chamber already.
Yeah, of course. Should I go ahead?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so I got this album not too long ago. It is by one of my favorite bands, Guided by Voices.
Yeah.
And the song, it's a bit of a long, wordy one. Unbaited Vicar of Scorched Earth. It's not as Dragon Forcey as it sounds, thankfully.
Okay.
It's you know, a little fun little lo-fi indie rocker. I like it a whole lot, but in addition, I'm not recommending this song, I just like the name of it. Look, it's baseball. That's the name of the song.
Okay.
Which I back whenever I didn't allow people around me to enjoy sports because I don't enjoy sports, that sounds like some shit that I would say, like, oh, look, it's a baseball, like pointing at some people playing baseball. In addition, I've been listening to some jazz funk over this past week. It's a really good genre. The song is Dominoes, and the artist is Donald Byrd. Donald is a very talented trumpeter, and let me tell you, I am a stalwart proponent of the we have city pop at home. You two know city pop, right? As a genre.
I don't know. Throw out a couple artists for me, and I bet I can piece it together for you.
They're all Japanese names.
Okay.
So city pop is a genre that was prevalent in the Japanese bubble economy of the late 70s to the 80s, and it's gained a lot of prevalence in the U.S. over the past few years because with the internet, there are no borders, there are no boundaries. True. Unless you're in North Korea, and so city pop is great, city pop is neat, but let me tell you, it's just basically like the Japanese version of like jazz funk and jazz fusion and yacht rock. And so anytime I see, you know, someone in their 20s and they're like, oh yeah, city pop, it's real great, I'm like, hey kids, you ever hear about the Doobie Brothers? You gotta let them know.
I mean, you gotta
let them know that we're doing that stateside as well. We have that, you know, good economy music, you know, much like the Japanese did, and then, you know, it eventually the economy went bad, but we still got the music.
Yeah, that's true. We always have the memories, right? That's the important part.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Well, Claire, you had some time to think on it. I don't know if, I mean, look, I'd never try to top Brandon, that's for sure. But do you want to go, or do you want me to go ahead and go?
I'll go. I already told Brandon, I'm like, oh my God, do I go for cringe or good? I don't, like, my life is cringe. But the
power's
baseball
in your hands.
Yeah.
Baseball thing reminded me. So I have followed the Goo Goo Dolls for forever. Everybody knows Johnny Resnick, and when it sounded, you know, when it sounds all nice and happy.
Yeah.
But before they got Johnny Resnick, the bass player, Robbie Takak, was the singer, and it was very punk.
Yeah.
And it was very not good. But there's a song called Don't Beat My Ass with a Baseball Bat. It is pretty much what you would think. It's the bass player, the Goo Goo Dolls, screaming, "Don't beat my ass with a baseball bat."
True. All right.
I think that was like late 80s. So like way before
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
So
they were what they are.
Is it like a? Would you say it's like some sort of a spiritual successor to the Ramones' "Beat on the Brat"?
I don't think it goes with anything ever.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And it probably shouldn't.
I had to I would have to say that Dizzy Up the Girl was like the first tape that I ever bought as a kid. It's either that or Astro Lounge by Smash Mouth, and it took many a year to get accustomed to the bassist's voice. Give me 1 second. I have a cat that's chewing on cables. All right.
Yeah.
It took many a year to get accustomed to the bassist's voice, and it's still difficult in some instances. But yeah, a lot of and I've yet to listen to like those early albums where he was the sole vocalist, but like all those songs on what is that Car Wash album and Goo and like those
A Boy Named Goo,
and all those were really, really great with him.
Yep. Dizzy Up the Girl was the first CD I ever owned.
Oh heck.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
I unfortunately was had the low rent version. I had the tape. And
y'all didn't even realize that y'all were looking up at the same moon at night. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. And you know what? That old Johnny Resnick was looking at that moon too.
Yep.
Yeah, true enough. Hey, look, it all goes together. All right.
He was also in that tower looking down at the people with his weird telescope.
I like that. Yeah, that's true. As he just in the video was basically just a mini documentary. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Okay, I'll think about. I got an idea here. So, Brandon, right after we hit stop on the recording last week, or the last time we recorded, I realized that Paul Di'Anno had passed away just a couple days before. We didn't even mention it.
First vocalist, yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's the thing, right? I mean, you could say that he was the original vocalist of Iron Maiden. I don't know how accurate that would be to say, right? Because they had sort of a different name at some point in time. They had a different singer at some point in time or whatever. But definitely, like, the very first Iron Maiden album ever released, at large to the public, Paul Di'Anno was the singer of Iron Maiden on that album and the one after it, called Killers. And so, on that first album was a song called Prowler. And basically, that was a song that they recorded on a demo. Iron Maiden did. And I'm sure they re-recorded it for the album. I'm not sure. I don't know that for sure, but I would imagine they did. But basically, they recorded that song on an album, on a demo. Mm-hmm. And Steve Harris, the bass player, went to the local radio station and pestered the DJ into playing this song on the radio. And then that was the song that people knew whenever they would play shows around their area. That's the song that got them on the map in their local area. And then, that springboarded their career. So I'm going to go with the song Prowler by Iron Maiden. Paul Di'Anno on vocals. I mean, the whole album, the whole self-titled album is great. The follow-up Killers also great. He was a great singer. Definitely fit the band pretty well for what they did. Of course, Bruce Dickinson, amazing icon. Can't take anything away from that guy. But still, that's my recommendation for the week. Prowler by Iron Maiden.
See, people think that movie Airheads was a comedy. That's just what you did back in the day if you wanted your music heard. These days, you have the internet. You had to hold a radio station hostage if you wanted your music heard.
Yeah. That's true. Just have a record label that was paying the DJs a lot of money.
Yeah, that payola, baby.
The payola, yeah. There's an actual full whole term about it.
Yeah.
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 So we did mention Halloween. Mm-hmm. Brandon, you did say you were going to be a doctor.
I didn't, though. That's the thing, and I feel like I let everybody down.
Okay.
But at the same time, while I wasn't afraid of like there's no such thing as like stolen valor for like a doctor. Like you can just dress up like a doctor. It's fine. No one's gonna like stop you in a YouTube video and harass you. But I will say, if like a kid started to have a seizure and they were like, hey, is there a doctor in the house? I would have to like slowly take off the robe and the stethoscope and like, nah, that kid's gonna die, homie.
I did see a TikTok of like a club, and there was a Halloween party, and someone pulled the fire alarm or something happened, and there were firefighters there, and the camera pans over, and there's a guy standing there in a very cheap-looking firefighter costume with like the little thin plastic helmet on that you, that you got as a kid. So yeah, you know what? I could see it happening.
Heck yeah. Which just to all the listeners at home, pulling a fire alarm in jest is a felony. Don't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. By the way,
don't do that.
Shouldn't do it. Should not do it. Claire, I don't know how your Halloween went. But tell me about tell me how the day of went. Was it anything eventful over there?
Had to go to my human job is what I refer to it, like my non-cosplay job. We've had an issue of people working from home and taking advantage of it, but we're gonna have a party. It's gonna be fun, and they tricked everyone into performance reviews that day.
Cool.
So it was the ultimate trick or treat.
Yes.
So I was dressed as Lydia Dietz for The Office because I figured nobody gets in trouble in a poncho. I'm like, oh God, I do not want to cry. There's a lot of makeup on. Oh God, so much eyeliner. But it was fine. It's like, my eyeliner's expensive. This better be good news.
Yeah.
But it was a great trick or treat. Actually just handed out candy this year.
Nice.
First time where we had a ton of trick or treaters. I dressed as Michael Myers at the end of the night because I just wanted to terrify children. Just quietly go to the door. But it's less intimidating when you're 5'2" dressed as Michael Myers.
That's true. That's true.
I tried.
Well, you don't have any platforms laying around somewhere?
I do have some very big shoes, but that only gets me up to like 5'8".
Well, you know, okay, fine, I see.
Yeah.
More of a not a king size Michael Myers, but not a fun size either. You know,
in flats, fun size.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, still, it's about the spirit of it all, right?
Exactly.
We stand a mid-sized serial killer around here.
Yeah, there aren't enough just normal sized serial killers out there. We keep saying this on this show, and no one takes us up on it. No one listens to us.
There needs to be representation.
Yeah.
No one who is 5'8" starts killing on our behest, which is way to go, way to be a team player, guys.
Well, no one yet. I mean, we don't have enough listeners just yet, but eventually we will. The Humble family will be big enough, and then, well, there you go. That'll be it, right? I mean, law of averages states that eventually, someone's going to be obsessed enough with the show.
You keep that fun in the Pacific Northwest, though. We don't need any more bad things in Mississippi.
There is a you're in Mississippi. I'm in Louisiana. Claire is, we won't say where Claire is. Actually, we know you're in Texas, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So, we're all up in a row
Giant
here.
state. Good luck.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a statistic out there.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now, so I'm trying to remember here. But, there is, like, some statistic out there that there are, like, at any given time, there are, like, several active serial killers across the country.
And most of them are in the Pacific Northwest, which is why, they probably need to just, keep that up.
Are they really in that?
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's where it's at, man.
Wow.
If you want to perish or cause someone to perish and not get caught, that's where you go.
Yeah. It says, well, this says, is it true that there's approximately 50 active serial killers in the U.S. at any point in time?
It's too many. Too many.
You think that's too many?
I know it's a controversial stance, but I want to keep that number, a little bit lower than 50.
This says, I'm not doing a deep dive on this. I'm just going to look it up real quick. It says, according to Scientific America, there are between 25 to 50 serial killers in the U.S. Active right now. Of course, I don't know when this is from. There's no date on this.
They're just making that shit up.
They've got to be. They've got to be. I guess so. I mean, look, I don't have any way of independently verifying that. I just know that there is a number out there at some point in time that says that that's the case. So, again, law of averages, right?
I think I've talked about, like, the internet rumors that I still, like, I heard whenever I was 14 and I still believe to this day. Like Kelly Clarkson being a waffle stomper.
I don't know if I heard that one in particular.
I did. I heard that one.
You have one too many. You have an accident. You got to get rid of it. No judgment for me.
Being on the set of From Justin to Cali was very grueling, and you didn't have a lot of time to yourself.
I'm sure it was, right? No, like I said, no judgment. No judgment, right? You know, there's a period of time where everyone thought that the friend from the Wonder Years was Marilyn Manson. So,
Yeah.
but that's not true. You can verify that now. Anyway, we detoured a good little bit there. Claire, but I do want to ask you about, because you had some pretty awesome Halloween cosplay, some really awesome content that you put out there.
Yay!
All the time, yes.
I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
You've got to be recovering right about now.
Yeah, so I did a Lily Munster, which I didn't think I was going to have time to do. That was actually an Amazon gift. And I had a free moment before going to a concert and asked my friend, like, do you want to take some pictures?
Heck yeah.
So we yeeted that out in like 2 hours.
Nice.
That's
Okay.
perfect.
You know, I'm like, okay, we have a hard stop because I have to go to a rave real quick here.
All right.
BRB. But did a hippie Elvira that I wanted to do for a while. And then I did the burlesque Elvira as well. And I customized that bra. And technically back in September, because I start early, and everybody should start early for Halloween, because October is too damn short. I did a clown from Halloween Horror Nights, which nobody knew what it was, because it's one of the times where I go super niche. And
Yeah, it's a very
like,
specific clown, yeah.
they're like, that's a hot clown. I'm like, it's from a thing. I wish I could take brain credit for that, but cannot.
Yeah.
That's from the Universal Halloween Horror Nights creative, but I wanted to do it, and it's like my favorite time of the year. Still always go to Universal every September before the crowds get too busy. Do all my haunted houses and drink alcoholic beverages out of Blinky cups, because they sell Blinky cups, which are the superior of cups. So
yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
Would you say that you get frightened more or less after a few Blinky cup drinks?
Oh, obviously less.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked the Elvira look, the hippie Elvira look, because I mean, most people do just kind of the straight Elvira, which
oh yeah, I did that too.
Which you have done, but
I forgot that I did that this month.
Did that? Yeah, that's true. You had that you put out. You did last year. You did the mummy Elvira look as well, which again, like sometimes she would change up the look, right? And not a lot of people recognize that, but she's still such a recognizable character.
Oh,
that
100%.
You can tell who you are. You know, but you know you're changing it up. So I really like that. And the Lily Munster, I really like too. I thought that was really dope as well, because I feel like she's a character that like doesn't get as much attention around Halloween, because
Very
people
true.
are the Elviras and they are the Morticia Addams characters or whatever, and there aren't as many Lily Munsters out there. So I do like a good. I do like to see the Munsters represented, right? I mean, you know, I might enjoy the Addams Family more, but doesn't mean the Munsters don't kind of hold a place for me as well. I used to love the movies they did back in the day. I watched those a lot as a kid, actually.
Apparently, there's a replica house of the Munsters in Waxahachie, Texas.
Okay.
Really?
I think it's like $120 to go on a tour, but it's like a group deal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I think that's all year round. So I might have to venture at some point to Waxahachie.
Absolutely.
It's also where they had the Ren Fair over here. So
Oh, so that's easy. Yeah, the Texas Ren Fair is a big deal.
well, there's the Scarborough Fair one, which is Waxahachie, and the Texas Ren Fair is Souther.
Souther?
I don't remember. I think it's closer to Houston.
Oh, gotcha.
I just can't swear to it.
I see.
Texas is huge.
It's a big old place.
Yeah.
Big and nebulous, and people tell me like this place is this far in this direction. It's still just like I'm imagining the map. I'm like, all right, is it? It's always so, once again, very nebulous.
Yep.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, it's in DFW. I'm like, okay, that could be 7 hours for me, for all I know.
Yes.
Like, that tells me nothing.
Yeah. True. That doesn't mean anything at all.
Nope.
I heard recently that whenever we're going on a road trip and people are like, oh, how far away is that? And you're like, oh, it's about like a 4-hour drive or whatever.
Yeah.
I've heard that that's a uniquely American thing.
Yes.
Like most places will be like, oh, it's this many miles or this many kilometers away. They'll measure it in distance, but we measure a drive in time.
Interesting.
I think it is to less of an extent now, but Europeans, and they still might think this, but they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that they don't go vacation in other countries. And it's like, homie, like if you go once again, like your example, if you drive 4 hours, they are like 3 countries away.
Mhm.
Which with us, we're still you're still in Texas.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You know, I drive 3
There's no
hours
escape.
north, and I'm still in Louisiana. So,
Yeah.
that very much is the move for me. Mine was my Halloween was we got rained out, so we just kind of hung at the house.
Yeah.
And had some friends over. The friends we would normally walk with through the house, so we didn't get to see Drunk Superman this year.
Which is a shame.
But I got an update saying that his house was in fact very much decked out, and he did go all out. So we know he
I
was
thought
there.
you were about to say
We know
got
he
an
was
update.
active.
Yeah.
That man's still drinking.
He's still drinking. He was still drinking. Are you kidding me? Still
You
drinking.
should invest in a Superman costume and be your own drunk Superman.
You know what? I
Just
think
manifest it.
Yeah.
I think that's the most responsible thing for me to do
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell everybody. Claire Deadfield said I need to drink heavily and dress like Superman.
I feel like drunk
support this
Superman
message.
always
Okay.
has a lampshade on his head.
You know, I've never seen the lampshade. There's no direct evidence of the lampshade, but it sounds right. It sounds right.
Maybe it's like you put it on his head. He's like, kryptonite.
Of course. Yeah. When I can't see, I'm powerless. Pretty much how it would go down for me. But you know, that's just how I am. Hey, look, I had a question here. We're gonna deviate from Halloween real quick.
All right.
Because I want to.
Yeah.
And because this is we're having just a loose conversation here. It's what we do every week, right? So
All right.
The other night
Uh-huh.
we sat down and we watched one of my daughter's favorite movies, which is Home Alone. Home Alone is one of her favorite. It might actually be her favorite. Like, she laughs so hard at that movie every time we watch it. And I was thinking to myself, this movie really is like perfect. Like, there's not a lot I can find wrong with that movie. You can find things wrong with the characters,
Yeah.
right? You can be like, oh wow, those really are some terrible parents, or that Kevin's uncle really is a jerk. But like, that really is just like a perfect movie. Like, if someone says to you, like, think of a perfect movie, like, what sticks out in your mind?
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Yeah. Like, what's something where it's like, I wouldn't change anything from start to finish?
I actually have a lot.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I would
sorts of
expect,
movies, I think.
yeah, I would expect a lot of people to have at least a couple of them that's like, you know, just to you, from your perspective, like, what's a perfect movie?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it all really depends on the situation, because I mean, what might be a perfect film, like, you know, you might not want to watch your perfect film that you have in mind right now with, you know, just anybody. I think that one of those situational perfect films is a film called The Straight Story. It was released in the late 90s, and it was directed by David Lynch of, you know, like Blue Velvet, The Elephant Man, Eraserhead, Twin Peaks fame. And he's a creepy, surreal boy. And this was a rated G Disney movie. It is a very like poignant, you know, very like slow burn of a movie about a man who's I think it's a World War II veteran, and his estranged brother has a heart attack, and he's the brother has not had a heart attack. He's legally not allowed to drive, so he rides a John Deere riding lawnmower from like Montana to Nebraska. Once again, very slow paced. But the cinematography is amazing. The characters are wonderful, and it's just a very warm movie. I love it a whole lot. It's one of my favorites, and I think that it is one of those films that I would not change a single thing about.
Slow pace, so about the pace of a riding lawnmower?
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Gotcha.
They were going to have him drive a Corvette, but then they're like, hold up, we've paced this out. That's not appropriate. Put him in a riding lawnmower.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. You know what else is a perfect movie?
Yeah.
Muppet Treasure Island.
Yes, it is.
Oh boy. So you two are gonna have to tell me about it because I've never seen it.
Oh my God! Listen. First off, so you've seen the Muppet Christmas Carol, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So in the same vein, Muppet Treasure Island, they all play characters from Treasure Island. You know, just like they did in Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol. However, Long John Silver is played by Tim Curry.
Good.
So just you know, legend, phenomenal. Who really just throws his whole self into the movie, just like Michael Caine throws himself into the Muppet Christmas Carol. Tim Curry really does throw himself in there. Great musical numbers in there as well. Still a funny one. I'm telling you, Muppet Treasure Island. Brandon, just put it on your list.
Yeah.
Go back, review it. It's a fine film. Okay, you're not going to regret watching it.
Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah.
I think someone online said Michael Caine treated all the characters in Muppet Christmas Carol as actors, whereas Tim Curry treated himself in Muppet Treasure Island as a Muppet.
Which is pretty much perfect.
Which is why it works.
Yeah. They both just found a way to put themselves on the same level as the Muppets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Great time. There's a
Claire,
there's
what
a
you
Boom
got?
Shakalaka scene. There's a
Boom
Cabin Fever
Shakalaka.
song. It's great. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Claire, did you have any thoughts on what's a perfect movie to you?
Actually, the first Beetlejuice, because I did see
Hell yeah.
Beetlejuice, and seeing the sequel, I enjoyed it. Then I slept and I thought about it, and I found so many things wrong with the sequel. I still liked it. I still had fun.
Oh, the plot
But
was a
then
mess.
But
I
you
liked
turn on your brain for just a half a second, and then everything falls to pieces. I'm like, damn it, I just wanted to enjoy my life. Why does my brain do this? So I went and I rewatched the first one again, and I'm like, no notes. Perfect. Awesome.
No,
But,
the second one, I left the theater being like, the plot of that movie was a mess, but I had a good time. So, you know, it was good. It was worth a watch for me.
There were some storylines that were substantially weaker than others. Like Beetlejuice's ex-wife, I don't even know why she was there.
She was just kind of there.
She was there. They're just like, Monica Bellucci's hot. I'm like, I agree. And that was her role.
Is there another
Good
reason?
job. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, that actually is the truth. She was just kind of there. She was just kind of a vague threat throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the
that
first
sequence,
Beetlejuice was great.
of her putting herself back together,
Yeah.
amazing.
Like
Amazing
the sound design was great, the music was great, but you just can't use your brain.
Yeah.
Then it just does not work. But no, the first Beetlejuice was great. Also, love practical effects. It's amazing that they even came up with half of that. It was it was original at the time,
Right.
but before we had all the 30 gajillion reboots and sequels, I was like, wow, this is creative and beautiful, and I like the characters. I care. I'm like,
Never seen anything quite like it.
No, absolutely. Like that's one I watch every year, and it's still great. And then we also got the animated series out of that too, which was a great show.
yes, we did.
So
And the only other movie is Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead's also perfect.
Shaun of the Dead is really, really good.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's still amusing every time. It's still funny every time. You have the "Don't Stop Me Now" sequence,
Perfect.
which is always a great time. Yeah, no, Shaun of the Dead. Wow, good pull on that one too. I like that.
Yeah.
I never saw, I know that it's part of an unofficial trilogy, and I never saw the third film in that trilogy.
It's
The
fine.
World's End. Yeah, I never watched it either.
It's okay. It's still good. It's just that Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead were so superior. It's just like, oh, this is fine.
That was
It is The
kind of what I
Godfather
gleaned from
Part
the trailers.
3.
The Godfather Part 3. Yeah. Like, you need the first two to make it happen, and it's just very much okay. Yeah. I get it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, y'all. I think the main thing we need to do for this episode here, y'all know what we need to do.
What do we need to do?
We do need to play a little trivia.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
We're gonna try to cut this one down here to a simple one. We're gonna go with a game that we call Year of Premiere. Claire, do you remember this one?
I'm terrible with game names.
Okay, that's okay.
I do listen because I comment every
Yes,
week.
you do comment.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I know you're listening.
Yeah, but no, if you tell me a name of something, that's just gonna go over my head.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Brandon knows this one. This is a a game where I will name a show, and both of you will try to guess in what year that show debuted on TV.
Okay.
And the closest without going over will get a point.
Okay.
So I've got enough here for each of you to guess first on this one here twice, and then a tiebreaker just in case.
Perfect.
Okay.
So, Claire, we'll start with you on this first one here. In what year do you think Tales from the Crypt debuted on television?
Oh, jeez. Before I was born.
The HBO series, possibly.
I feel like that was. Ugh.
John Cassirer, the Crypt Keeper. Lots of big names were on the show over the years.
Yeah, yeah.
I know there was plenty of it out like when I was a kid, but that was because it was long running from before. I don't know, 85.
Okay, there's a number there. I'm not gonna tell you what kind of guess it is because I don't want to take Brandon off here.
Terrible.
Brandon, what do you think?
So usually I like to go lower than my opponent, but I want to say I got 2 years in my head, and you know what? I'm going to go with 86.
86? You just did the $1 Bob?
Yeah.
Sort of, I guess, in reverse, right? $1
Yeah.
more. Point to Brandon on that one. That show came out in 1989.
Oh,
89 to 96. It ran for a long time. And we got two.
Wow, that was when I was born, actually. Not before.
I'm not sure what the actual first air date was. I guess we could narrow it down, but I would have been 2, so okay.
I'm just imagining a cognitive toddler like, oh, there's already so many episodes.
So many episodes of this show.
I have so much to catch up on.
All right. 1 point, Brandon here. Now, Brandon, I'm going to start with you on this next one here. What about Goosebumps? What year do you think Goosebumps aired on TV for the first time?
94.
94. Claire, what's your guess?
Crap, I was actually about to guess 94. 95.
Oh. Right on the money, 1995.
Yay!
Hey!
1-1 for y'all. Nice. Very good. Okay, Claire, we'll start with you on this next one here. How about Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, I loved that one.
That was really good.
Around the same time.
The one with the pool zombie was it kind of messed me up a little bit.
The pool zombie, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a vampire one that messed me up, and I don't even know why, because it wasn't. Those don't age well. What came first, Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was around the same time. Crap. 95 again?
You're going to say 95 again?
Yeah.
Brandon, what do you think?
I'm going to go with 91.
91. Well, you both went over. It actually came out in 1990.
Really?
Yes. It
no
sure
kidding.
Did. It sure did. All right, 1-1 on this one here. Let's see. How about Claire did you last time. Brandon will do you this time. Brandon, The Twilight Zone.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
Not kidding you at all.
I'm gonna go with 61.
61. Okay. Claire, what do you think?
63.
63.
I don't know.
Both great guesses for both of you. You both kind of got in the ballpark there, but you didn't quite get it. You both went over it. It was actually 1959 was the first one. Ran up until 1964, which is probably where you guys were thinking because it was running in the 60s.
Yeah.
All right, y'all are still 1-1, so we have a tiebreaker here. We got to figure out who the winner is, unless you both go.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
I don't know what's going to happen, but this show it only ran for a few seasons. It is Scream the TV series.
Oh wow. I barely remember that.
Yeah, that's the point. Let's see. We did 1, 2, 1, 2. I think, Claire, we need you to go first on this one here.
I hate everything. 2011.
Okay, 2011. Brandon, what do you think?
2007.
2007. Scream, the TV series, debuted in 2015, actually, which means
Oh,
we are
wow.
winner. Yes, nice. Nicely done.
Fantastic.
2-1, Claire. Very, very nice. Very nice. Take a bow, if you would.
Yay.
You know what's
seen
funny
shows.
is I think I know what you were getting at there when you said 2011, because that was the year that American Horror Story came out. And all of these were horror anthology series. Was the idea?
Gotcha.
You know, between all of them here.
I remember I saw the MTV Scream series at a hotel, so I was trying to think, like, when did I go to
Where was I in a
Austin
hotel?
with the people? I just left it on in the background. I'm like, this show doesn't actually suck.
Yeah.
And then I watched it for like 4 hours.
Friend of the company, actually Levy, who was at the Preserve Halloween Fest last year, as a special effects makeup artist. She was the lead makeup designer on Five Nights at Freddy's and that Civil War movie that came out earlier this year, the A24 Civil War movie.
Yeah.
She worked on the Scream the TV series as well, and she described really like fighting for some of the stuff they wanted to do practical as opposed to having it CGI'd in after the fact.
As opposed to them actually killing the person.
Right. As opposed to them killing... No. Look, we can do this with makeup. You don't have to cut someone in half.
You don't have to kill them.
That was the argument they made. They were like, "Oh, let's just cool our jets, everybody. Hold on."
we can talk through this.
Yes, of course. Well, Claire, thanks for stopping by the show
Anytime.
again, especially for the Halloween recap. Maybe we should make this a yearly thing where we recap all the cool stuff you did. And
I think so.
Go ahead and let the Humbl fam know where they can see all that cool stuff.
It is on Instagram.
All right.
Multiple platforms are difficult.
That
We
is
do
true.
the Insta. We do the Insta.
Just search Claire Deadfield.
Yep. I can't TikTok dance. Don't bother trying to find me there. That's just not going to happen.
It's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm on TikTok. I have some things that are on TikTok for me, but you're right. I don't do the dancing. I don't do the lip syncing.
Yep.
It's just not my forte. I'm not good at it.
Nope.
Right? Yeah.
Everything's just going to be elder millennial lip syncing anyway.
There
And they're
we
going to be like, what is she doing?
It's all just going to be Hawthorne Heights and
Oh, yeah.
I had another band in my head, but I
Good old
fell out
Mike
of my
him.
head, so it doesn't really, the Used
Yes.
and things like that. So
Yeah.
that's okay. That's okay. Did y'all see? Hold on. I'm gonna derail this a little bit.
Oh, dude, please tell me you're gonna bring up the. Oh shoot! Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what you're getting at, Brandon, but so Dale Earnhardt Jr. posted a playlist recently, and it was all like Boxcar Racer and the Wonder Years, and like just emo. Like, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff in there, but there was a lot of like emo in there, and like not just like radio emo, like stuff you really would have had to have looked for. People are like, "What the hell is going on right now?" That's true. It really happened. You can look it up. Google Dale Earnhardt Jr. playlist, and you will find it immediately. No, Brandon, you had a thought?
No, there was this and like it's a really popular band, and I can't believe I've forgotten the name of it. But over this past week or two, I think over the past like 3 or so weeks, everyone left like a popular metalcore act minus the vocalist, and I love, like, that's one of my favorite things in the world. I love it when a metalcore band, everybody leaves but the vocalist.
Yeah, and it happens a lot.
It's
not happened a lot.
Who is it? You know what? Hey, Humbl fam, comment on the video and tell me what band I'm thinking of, because I really wish I could remember.
Well, the drummer from Primus just quit the band via email the other day. So
He did, and I saw his explanation. He's like, "Hey, I hurt and I'm old." Like, okay,
that's a solid reason.
And he was like, literally, just like, "I just don't feel like doing this anymore."
Yeah,
which is fine,
Hey, yeah. I completely agree. I understand with that.
I think that's okay. I think Primus did well enough that they're fine. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Linkin Park has a new singer. That's a big thing.
Well, that's another thing too. Because that became a whole other issue after everybody realized the stuff.
They have a new singer. The drummer quit, I think, and the guitarist is not going to tour with them anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Super
it's
weird all of a sudden.
Mike Shota and chick that has a name that I don't remember.
Yeah, she sang for a band called Dead Sarah. Maybe they're still
Yeah.
together. I don't know. But anyway. Yeah, so that is the weird the music news. We should just do a music news segment every week too. I think there's plenty to go around.
Yeah.
Absolutely, especially over the last few months. Well, Claire, thanks for stopping by the show again. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's
Anytime.
been great having you here. Congrats on winning the game, y'all. Check out Claire Deadfield on Instagram if you haven't already. I mean, she's not hurting for followers, but she could always use a few more followers. So go over there and hit that follow button, please.
I could use all the help.
Yeah.
All the things.
She's got all kind of cool stuff going on over there. Make sure you have subscribed to us and you give us a like and a comment and a review, and you follow us on all of our social platforms, because we're having us a little party every single week here on The Humbl Show, and we'll be back here next week for a visit on The Humbl Show. But until then, stay humble.